You know what I'm here for.
Back on top, punching the clock, clutching sanity.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back. I can't believe we are 9 days away from the trade deadline, and there's been no big moves, no big shakeups. We only seen like Kenrich get traded. There's been like a couple small trades, but nothing major. So today we got another BR article. It's titled "The Player Every NBA Team Should Shop at the Trade Deadline." Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons are the cover players. So let's see what this article gives us. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're almost to 450 subs, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit some likes, man. We're trying to hit some new heights on this channel. And let's go ahead and get into the article. So yeah, this is by Zach Buckley, and as you can see, Beal, Ben Simmons are the cover guys. So let's see, the first team, John Collins. We've heard the reports. I said in my video yesterday, I don't think that they should trade John Collins unless like the right offer really comes to the table. But for now, I think the Hawks, they did lose last night after I kind of gassed them up yesterday, but they're on a nice little run. They're kind of getting back to their brand of basketball. They could use some help, maybe a little more help on the defensive side of the floor, but I think for the most part, you're not going to get that much better. I don't think trading John Collins really helps improve that. And then, you know, you're going to have to supplement what you lose on the offensive side of the floor for the defense that you're going to get back. It's just, I don't know. I think they should pump the brakes on this, man. Just ride it out for the rest of the season. Let's move on to the next team, which should be the Boston Celtics. Kind of figured Marcus Smart would be the guy. If you're going to keep JB, if you're going to keep Jason Tatum, Smart is like the next dude with probably the most value, maybe outside of Robert Williams. A lot of teams would want Marcus Smart on their roster. It's just a matter of what the Celtics could get back, what they would want to get back. This team, we know they have a lot of holes. I don't think they'll be able to get the playmaker that they want back. Maybe they can get some shooting back. But it's tough because Marcus Smart is so important to this team. He missed a few games like a couple weeks ago, and the team struggled without him. Defensively, they're just not the same team. He plugs up a lot of the holes on the defensive side of the floor. Very valuable piece that I think could be a risk. It's a high-risk trade if they do get rid of him, but maybe it could bring back some great rewards. We'll just have to see if Brad Stevens has the guts to pull that off. The next team, Nick Claxton. Yeah, I could see why they would want to trade Nick Claxton. He has great flashes, he has great moments, but it's so inconsistent. This is a team that wants to win a championship. So he's like your youngest asset outside of like Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharpe. And at times, Day'Ron Sharpe's look just as decent. Like, he's showing just as good flashes. So I can see why Nick Claxton might be the odd man out in that big man rotation. It was just, his contract's probably not that big, so it would kind of wonder what they would get back in return. If they maybe are looking to get anything, maybe they just want to clear some space out for the buyout market, who knows. But I could see why Nick Claxton is the odd man out. It's just very inconsistent play for him, for a team that's trying to win a championship, of course. And the next team, the Charlotte Hornets, PJ Washington. I would hope that this is centered around like the Miles Turner rumors, which has been rumors pretty much the entire season. But I think I can see why. PJ's kind of another guy that's like an odd man out. Pretty sure he's been moved to the bench this season in favor of Miles Bridges. This team just has a lot of forward depth. Like Gordon Hayward is still there making a lot of money. Miles Bridges can run the 3, he can run the 4. PJ Washington, he's only 6'7", so running him at small ball 5 is not really ideal. And there's not a lot of power forward minutes on this team. I can see why. Hopefully this is in regards to getting Miles Turner on the team. And for the Pacers' sake too, you should want young pieces instead of Gordon Hayward. Hit the reset, please. Let's move on to the next team, which should be the Chicago Bulls and Patrick Williams. I know Bulls fans that are very on the fence about this, about if Patrick Williams is a part of the team's future, if he's an untouchable asset or what. I don't know really. Like, if you're a Bulls fan watching this, let me know what you think, because I think Patrick Williams has the potential to be a very, very, very good player in the league. Like, possibly an all-star caliber dude. I think he has that kind of upside, man. He's still super young. I think he's only like maybe 20 at the most. He might be 20 years old. Has pretty much missed the entirety of this season with that hand injury. I don't know, Bulls fans, let me know. Like, if Jerami Grant became available, is that the guy that you want to trade Patrick Williams for? Because that's like a win now type of move. A big time win now type of move. The Bulls definitely just need some front court depth, though. They do miss Patrick Williams. I think he could have been a big time help to this team this season, especially with now all the other injuries that they're dealing with Zoe being out, Caruso being out for an extended period of time. They could use Pat Will badly. Collin Sexton, it feels like it's been forever since the last time I watched Collin Sexton play basketball, or any of us, because he's missed pretty much the majority of the season. I feel like he's been out since like November. He's been out for a while. He's on an expiring contract. He's going to be a restricted free agent. It makes sense why you would try to ship him to see if maybe you could get something in return. I want this team to go out and get Caris LeVert so bad. I wanted them to get Cam Reddish too, and the Knicks got Cam Reddish. They haven't done shit with him. They just let him sit on the bench. Tibbs is a crazy man. But if you do trade Collin Sexton, I think you need to get somebody like Caris LeVert in return. I think Collin Sexton he's still super young, very talented. Somebody that's averaged like almost 25 points per game just a season ago. Super talented guy. I just don't think the fit in Cleveland long term is for him and for the Cavs organization. I think they would want to upgrade that position to like a bigger two-guard type of guy, like a Caris LeVert. But I think Collin Sexton, if I was a Pacers fan and you told me we're gonna hit the reset, but we're getting young guys and one of them is Collin Sexton, it's gonna be exciting, it's gonna be fun, I would be interested in that, especially a team that's selling tickets for $1. Tickets for $1. The last NBA game I went to was a Pacer game, and them tickets were not $1. They were not $1, bro. So hopefully that's the Pacers that gets Collin Sexton. That would be a match made in heaven. This is the guy I really want to talk about. Jalen Brunson. It seems like the more the days go by, the more and more people are suspecting he's probably going to get moved because he wants $20 million a year. And it's a big question, like, is he worth $20 million a year? I think the best of Jalen Brunson is yet to come. Somebody that's consistently gotten better each year. Rick Carlisle was dumb to have him like pretty much on the bench game 7 last year against the Clippers when Luka needed help more than ever. That was just one of the dumbest playoff decisions I've seen in a long time. I think the best of Jalen Brunson is yet to come. I would love him in Boston. I think the Celtics, shit, I would pay him the $20 million to be the point guard of the Boston Celtics. I mean, why not? Why not? And right now he's on a very like small contract because I think he's a 2nd round pick. But man, that's tough for the Mavericks. You have somebody emerging as a secondary ball handler, somebody that's on the perimeter that can score the ball for you. And it's like, man, we might have to trade him because we don't want to pay him $20 million. That's a tough decision. People comparing him to like a Fred VanVleet type of trajectory. I can see it in a way, except Freddie had a championship at this point, and he had proven maybe a little more than Jalen Brunson has. Tough. I would hate to be Mark Cuban in that front office because it's a tough decision that they're going to have to make. I wouldn't say if he is going to get traded, but it's looking like it might be a big possibility that he does. And the Denver Nuggets, Zeke, Nnaji. Interesting. Yeah, it's basically like saying this team is kind of waiting for their guys just to get back healthy. This just might be like a around the edges type of move. But the Nuggets are still playing good basketball. Even without Jamal Murray, without Michael Porter Jr. Jokic is just that good. He's that good. Like, he will win you regular season basketball games pretty much by himself. Next team, Detroit. We knew Jerami Grant's going to be on the list. He hasn't been playing like the last week or so. So, that could be good for straight value because maybe teams won't get to see, like, I don't know for real. Like, I just want to see this man get traded to a good team. With Joe Ingles being out for the rest of the season, that's just devastating news, man. Joe Ingles is one of the most cool dudes in the league, in my opinion. But with him being out for the Jazz, it's like, I think this trade just needs to happen. Somehow, some way, Danny Ainge is in that front office now. He needs to pull this stuff off. He needs to get this trade going because I think Jerami Grant could be the missing piece to that Utah Jazz team. And now missing another big part of that rotation. They need Jerami Grant more than ever, so go ahead and make that call, Danny Ainge, for sure. James Wiseman. I'm not in the camp of James Wiseman has to go, but I'm also not in the camp of you shouldn't listen to offers. You shouldn't listen to calls because I think James Wiseman, look, this is somebody that has not played a lot of basketball since college, or since high school actually, because he only played a couple games in college. Hasn't played that much in the NBA. Somebody that's just, waiting to be unleashed, like, honestly. And he's in a unique situation with the Warriors to where we're not going to see the peak of his ability probably for another few years if he stays in Golden State. So if I was the Warriors, I would definitely listen to offers, but I wouldn't make no panic trade. Even how good the Suns look, I wouldn't make any panic trades just to get rid of James Wiseman to take a flyer on somebody that could or could not help you, unless it's like a can't miss, like maybe it's a Miles Turner. Maybe that's the move that takes us from where we are now to, okay, we're the championship favorites again. Unless it's something like that. And even then, I don't know. Let James Wiseman come back, if he does come back, and see. you know, I don't think there's any rush to trade this man or Kuminga or Moses Moody or anybody. Just pump the brakes a little bit, man. I want to see James Wiseman back on the court, though. I think he's super talented. Christian Wood, this might be one of the dudes I think it might be inevitable that he gets traded, or at least he should, because, I mean, it was pretty much doomed the moment James Harden wanted out, honestly, and because he went there to play with James Harden to be in a winning type situation, and James Harden 10 games in is like, I want to leave. Get me out of here. And Christian Wood's been stuck there for the last year, putting up good numbers, but obviously I'm pretty sure he wants to be in a winning situation. I've seen the Wizards linked to him. He could fit in almost anywhere. Maybe Charlotte. Like, he could fit in pretty much anywhere. Teams will definitely be calling, you know, the Rockets' phone, and they could probably get, you know, some good value for him too. And he's not on like a crazy contract either, which I think is good for other teams, that they won't have to give up like a big name player to get Christian Wood. Maybe just like, you know, some second tier guys and then some draft picks. I think that would be enough to get Christian Wood out of Houston. Hopefully he does get moved, because, you know, he's refusing to go in games and stuff. He probably needs to get out of there. Sabonis, I thought Miles Turner was going to be the guy for this, but it's Sabonis. I'm in the camp the Pacers should just trade everybody and hit the full reset. I think they should do that. They haven't done that in a very long time. Don't think they've had higher than a 10th overall pick since like the 90s, which is crazy. But Sabonis, interesting guy, because I don't know what his market value is. He's obviously the best player on this team. He's the all-star, the perennial all-star on the squad, but I don't know what his value is around the league, because where does he fit? Like, where do you trade him that he really fits? I saw one that was like the Wizards, if they want to, you know, keep Bradley Beal but get him like a second tier star. That would make somewhat sense, but like, how much better does that make? And they're probably a solidified playing team at that point, maybe, possibly, you never know. But I mean, other than that, it's like, there's not many places I can think of that's like Sabonis there would make a big time difference. I'm not too sure about that, but I am in the camp. I hope he gets moved. I hope Turner gets moved. LeVert, if Malcolm Brogdon could get traded, I would hope he could get moved, but hopefully he's gone in the offseason. They need to get rid of everybody. Marcus Morris Sr., interesting. The Clippers are a team that's like trying to get under the luxury tax, so they're probably going to make some trades. I think it will be Serge Ibaka over Marcus Morris, but he might get moved too. You never know what that front office has up their sleeve. Just an interesting team, because they're so scrappy even without Kawhi and Paul George. If those guys come back at any point this season, which is probably a long shot, you know, at least for PG, but Kawhi's, you never know, maybe a possibility. Scary team to play in the first round of the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say about them. Moving on, THT, it's just a matter of who wants him, what's his value. I don't think his value is as high as they probably think it is. And what do you get in return that helps the Lakers? Don't think a lot. Collin Anderson, I think this is inevitable. Expiring contract. Lost a starting spot early in the season. A vet that could help out a lot of teams. I think the Bulls will probably be a team that will be calling their phone for Kyle Anderson. Yeah, I think they could probably get something decent in return. That maybe it's just like a pick or something. You know, I think the Grizzlies, I trust that front office a lot. Now, I remember seeing this like earlier. This is just a team that just doesn't have like any trades to be made. So I'm not gonna say anything about KZ Okpala being on this list. Donte DiVincenzo, it's just, I don't know what his value is, because he missed so much time. He's come back, and you can just, he's somebody that's coming off an injury, a big time injury. So it's like, I don't know, and I think he is set to be a free agent, restricted free agent, I believe too. So it's like, not sure what his value is. I think he's still a big piece. If I was the Bucks, I don't think I would make any drastic changes unless you get the piece that you really think you need right now, which is maybe some big man depth. But right now, I think I would hold off. Keep Donte, because he's one of your younger pieces. I think he could be a big piece. I think he would have been super valuable in the postseason last year, because they didn't have any secondary ball handling. He could have been that for them. Been seeing Jaden McDaniels in trade rumors a lot. It would just be a matter of, what do you get in return? What do you get in return? I think if a team wants to make a big splash, Malik Beasley might be the trade piece, but McDaniels is super young. I think he's only like 20, 21 years old. Could probably get you something decent in return. Maybe if you package him with somebody, but somebody that can shop. The Pelicans, this is overdue. Jackson Hayes, he's had a lot of just issues in New Orleans. Some on court, some off court. Been in the G League. Former top 10 pick. Crazy to say, man. Shout out to Ohio, though. Obi Toppin. Shout out to Ohio again. Knicks are in a weird spot. I'll say that much. They're in a very weird spot. I just want Kenrich to play basketball. Trading Obi, maybe that would be good for him because he's been playing behind Julius Randle this entire time. He was a top 10 pick. And he's had moments, but he hasn't had the consistent playing time. Young dude. Well, he's not like young, but he's a younger NBA player. He's only in his second year. I would like to see him be able to spread his wings a little bit. Just depends on what they would be able to get in return. Kenrich Williams, can he hustle, man? I think he's definitely going to get traded. Another team, the Bulls, could really use Kenrich Williams. I think the Suns might be in the running for him. Laker fans would probably dream of having this guy on their roster. I think he's going to be one of them dudes that gets traded, and a lot of people might not, blink an eye at it, but he's going to be somebody that when he gets moved is going to be a big time piece for a playoff team. He just brings a lot of different things to the table. Very versatile guy. Even though he's only I think he's 6'6", but he can play some forward for you. Very, very versatile dude. And OKC probably gonna get another draft pick for him. The Magic Obama, been seeing this a lot too. He's had probably his best NBA season. He had his best career game a couple weeks ago against Joel Embiid. I think the Magic just we want a first round pick. We're bottoming out right now. Just go ahead and give us a first round pick. And we'll see what we can do. Also, other guys, Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, I'm sure they'll be shopping them. Don't know if they can get much for Gary Harris because he's making a big bag. But Terrence Ross, I think he could definitely get moved for sure. We're not talking about Ben Simmons on this channel until he gets traded. Jalen Smith, I've seen this. Yeah. Young dude could probably get you something in return. I want this team so bad. Eric Gordon. I want Eric Gordon on this Suns roster so bad. I think that takes them from being the best team in the league to the absolute favorite to win the championship. I think so. And Jalen Smith showed amazing flashes. But this team, of course they got DA. They got JaVale McGee, who's been amazing. And Bismack Biyombo's been good too. So you got a surplus of bigs. Trade the young guys. See what value you can get in return. Pairing him with Dario Sarge's contract, I think you can get Eric Gordon. I'm not a cap expert, but I think that's possible. This team could also use a Thaddeus Young type of guy too, though. I can't lie. They could use a small ball 5, just in case you got to go up against, the Lakers, or you get to the finals, you got to see Giannis again. Just in case. CJ McCollum, I've heard a lot that he has negative trade value, but he's been playing really good lately. It's just a matter of what are you getting in return? What are you getting in return? I'm not sure. And who would want CJ right now? Who would want CJ? Who would give you some? I don't know. Tough situation. I want to see what this is. They're about to give Dame a big extension. And apparently the other 4 starters are all up for trade. So it's I don't know. And they're already missing guys for the rest of the season. Nas Little's out for the rest of the year. They've been letting Ant Simons rock out, and I love to see that, man. But a team, they can go 2 different ways. I've talked about this a lot. I don't know on this channel, but I know definitely on my podcast I've talked about this a lot. They kind of have a win-win type situation, but you got to make a decision on Ant Simons if he's going to be your future or if you're just going to move him. And I say, if you want to build around Dame, you got to move Ant. He's your most valuable asset. And don't botch it like the Gary Trent Jr. trade, who's been playing very well. Remember when Harrison Barnes started the season off, he's averaging 25 points per game? That feels like a long time ago. When you say game winners, that feels like a very long time ago. Another dude that's going to probably get moved and will be a very, very good piece for whoever gets him. I can see the Grizzlies. I can see the Minnesota Timberwolves being 2 suitors that could use him. Maybe a sneaky one, the Atlanta Hawks, potentially. I don't know if they want to go that route. You never know. Could be a sneaky move. I think Harrison Barnes is going to be a big time commodity this trade deadline, man. Maybe that nobody's talking about. Derrick White. They just paid Derrick White. The Spurs are a weird team because it's who's really in their future plans? I don't know. I've even seen things like DeJounte Murray might not be in their future plans, even though he's been playing all-star caliber basketball. He has. So I don't know. The Spurs are in a weird situation. Derrick White, they just paid him last offseason, I believe. He's making 16 a year, maybe, I think. Something like that. A defensive guard that can, guard multiple positions. Ideal type dude, man. Ideal type dude. I think a lot of people, if he is available, would definitely be calling their phones for sure. A team that just needs a center, Chris Boucher. Since we're on the topic of the Raptors, they just ended the Hawks winning streak last night. They got a back-to-back tonight. Nick Nurse does not believe in his bench. Like, his starters play 40-plus minutes every single night, it seems like. Fred VanVleet, I think, still leads the league in minutes. It's probably only gone up since the last time I checked. He's going to run them. They talk about Tibbs, man. Nick Nurse is a criminal, bro. He's a criminal, man. But, yeah, Chris Boucher, talented dude. It's just he can't play 5. It's kind of more so a 4. Probably a backup. Still kind of young-ish. This team needs a center, bro. They need a center big time, for sure. This would have been cool, 3-4 days ago, but Joe Ingles sadly tore his ACL. Get well soon, Jingling Joe, because big time piece of that team. Bradley Beal. So this is where we end the video. Bradley Beal. I don't know what direction the Wizards want to go in. Like I mentioned earlier, they could go the route because they have the pieces. Like, they have the young talent to call the Pacers up. Like, hey, we'll take Sabonis. We'll give you Kuzma, Rui, one of the two, and take Thomas Bryant from us, and we'll give you a pick or something, or maybe Danny Adia. We'll give you that. Or they can go in the direction of, look, Brad, I know you've been loyal to the soil, but we gotta get you out of here. We're gonna trade you to Philly. We're gonna bring Ben Simmons in, or we're gonna trade you to Memphis. We're gonna get back a bunch of young talent. We're gonna get back D'Anthony Melton, Xavier Tillman, Brandon Clark, and picks. They could call the Hawks phone like, hey, we'll take Kevin Huerter and we'll take Gallinari's expiring contract, and go ahead and give us an Onyeka Okongwu too and some picks. They could go so many different directions, bro. Sometimes it's a good problem to have, but I think with this team, they're so confused, and they've been so confused for the last few years that they don't know what to do. Hopefully these questions get answered at the trade deadline. That's all I'm gonna say.
Off season. Let's work. Hey, plotting my escape this game.